Hi guys, this is Dintyo here. I make videos for cardrunners.com and making a video today for a guy called Trevor Goddard who won the competition on my Facebook fan page. So if you go to facebook.com/Dintyo, um, uh, I'll make a similar challenge in a couple of weeks' time or something, and a competition. Basically, I'll just make a status saying, excuse me, saying if you like the status, you'll be in the running to win a free coaching session. For next one, I might do a package of like three coaching sessions or something like that. So yeah, basically, he's playing two tables of 25 Zoom, and it's obviously TGEDD it's playing. So table 2. Yeah, 3x opens pretty standard. I'm not sure what he's opening on the button yet, but yeah, table 1 and 2 both standard open and standard cold call. On standard cold call on table 1, standard open on table 2. Table 2, definitely see bet this flop for value. It's really drawy. We want to get a lot of value from any kind of random draws, like Jack 9, anything really. I mean, there's heaps of draws: spades, Jack 9, 7 9. At 10x, 8x, 9s, jacks, all those kinds of hands. There's a bazillion things we can get value for. Table 1, we end up floating this flop, which I think is pretty good with a hand like this, with 2 overs and a backdoor flush draw. Table 2, we just end up betting again for value. Just check the sizing there. Okay, and when he checks on table 1, I think we only need to bet like half pot here once he checks. Don't think we need to bet $2 into 3. Just bet like $1.50. Small, but yeah. I think if he's check folding, he check folds to $1.50. So no point making it any bigger. Table 2. I think you probably could have bet the turn bigger. So let me look at that again. Yeah, okay, 280. Against like a weaker player, I would just be betting closer to pot. On the river here, I think we can still bet for value. I think if we're going to bet, we don't have to worry about betting. It's either a check call or a big bet representing a misdraw. Probably lean towards a bet versus a weaker player because they're passive, and then a lot of passive players will just check back their draws. So I just bet like 650 here, and I hope to get called by a 10. You know. And like like a 9, a 10, jacks. I think if we bet 480, he's calling 650 all the same. And he does call you with worst hands. So table 1, set money with the 3s. I would call in position with 3s. I'm pretty sure I show a profit overall calling in position with 3s. Pretty easy play. Pretty easy to play as well. So yeah, table 1 I would have flatted in position. I'm not sure how deep we were though, but yeah, 100 big blinds deep, definitely always calling pocket pairs in position versus early position and middle position opens. I haven't seen this footage either yet, by the way. This is the first time that I'm looking at it. Table 2, I'll be 3-betting for value, obviously. Flatting's fine versus a really tight player, but someone playing 26-22, especially once there's a squeeze, definitely squeezing. Table 1, I'll be just flatting the ace-jack suited. Probably fold. I don't like 3-betting here. I think 3-bet ace-jack offsuit as a bluff, and call with ace-jack suited on table 1 would be my standard. It's not a huge leak, though. Table 2, c-bet half pot for value. Yeah, I think that's fine. Get min raised, just shove on table 2, either call or shove. Can even just click it back. I suppose, wait, what's the sizing here? When he snap and raises, I think he's got a 10 too often, so I think we really should be raising here to get value, because like a king and ace could roll off on the turn and give us kill all our action, whereas if we just raise, I'm pretty sure we can just get it in versus a 10 there. At least just click it back if you're not going to just shove. I think clicking back might be better at these limits versus a bad player because they're just more likely to spaz. At this point, I'd definitely just shove on table 2. Don't think there's any point doing anything else. I don't mind the call as well. I mean, it's not terrible really, but um, I expect him to, when he min raises there, have a hand he's going to call a raise with. So see, like in that spot, it would have been really annoying if he checked back, if he ended up checking back the turn, which he should have done with a pair plus draw there. And whereas on the flop, if you raised him with that hand, he would have just called, and yeah, you would have got your money in a little bit better. Table 1, 3 betting for value. Don't need to make it very big at all because yeah, I'd just make it $3. There's no reason to make it big at all because he's got. If we were ever bluffing, we want to have a decent price that we can actually, we wouldn't bluff for that sizing. So, and yeah, give him some room to shove over. I think he has some fold equity. On this flop, I'd be checking back a lot of the time. If I'm betting, I'm bet calling just because we're getting odds like 6 into 20. We probably have 30% versus the queen, so yeah, we just call. We do have 30% versus the queen, so I just call here. But I'd probably check back this flop and then just call whatever bets he's doing on the turn and river to induce bluffs. I think that's the best way to induce a bluff rather than bet calling. But yeah, once you bet, you should be snapping this off. I mean, you lose the money to that hand anyway, but I think he's more likely to bluff with if you check back that flop than he is when you bet half pot. Table 1, table 2, yeah, I think a flat standard pre. And then on this flop, I'd just be check calling. Table 1's just standard as well, just trying to get the hand to showdown. I'd fold the river though, yeah, good fold. Table 2, yeah, once he checks back the flop, just betting for value, and I'd bet 2 streets for value, and I think he bets most of his aces on the flop, so when he checks back, he most likely has a pair plus diamond. So just bet turn and river for value. Probably river small and turn big in terms of sizing. Got a bit of a cold, sorry. For all the sniffing and stuff. Table 1, yeah, definitely opening ace-9 suited. There. I'd 3-bet the 3s here, which I think you look like you're doing. Yep, I like that play. And we get called, and I'd see about this flop for a little bit for protection. Definitely once he raises here, I think he's full of it. I would just call, proceed cautiously. You can click it back as well. I wouldn't fold though. Looks like he got DC'd or something. Yeah, I mean, it's unlikely he has a jack there. He'd probably just call with a jack. So when he min raises there, I think he's just bluffing a lot of the time. So just call or click it back, either or. Obviously a standard open on table 2. Table 1, yeah, I just min raise the button. Table 2, open the cutoff. So yeah, if you're min raising the button, I hope you're opening something like at least 45% of hands, probably closer to 55% though. Be ideal if you're min raising. Table 2, yeah, I think a fold's fine versus a player playing that tight, playing 10 VPIP 9 pre-flop raise. Table 1, I'm just gonna c-bet. Bet the turn, flop turn river for value. On the turn now, I think it's a fold. Once he check min raises, that sounds ridiculous, but yeah, I think he's got 7s, queen 10, jacks. I suppose he could have king jack. Occasionally an ace jack, occasionally, but most of the time he's just gonna have the nuts when he does this play. Like sevens probably a huge percentage of the time. Queen tens some of the time. Jacks decent amount of the time as well. Given the stack sizes, I'd sigh and get it in, hoping that he has king jack every now and then, and ace jack every now and then. But turn check min raise is generally just the nuts every time, like pretty much queen 10 every time, really. But yeah, I mean, it's generally either queen 10 or sevens. Um, and that's a absolutely horrible card. If he shoves, we have to fold. Yeah, I would fold this river, given. Oh, nice fold. Yeah. I like the fact that you fold that. Good play. Surprised most people would have called there, I think. Table 2, yep, just bet, bet, bet. So far, I think you play very well on this Trevor guy. So, good job so far, Trevor. Not too many problems at all. I think you're very capable of beating the games from what I've seen so far. You don't have a lot of the leaks that a lot of the players at these limits do have, which is things like c betting more than 50% pot and 3-bet pots, not being able to fold in spots like you just folded. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll see some leaks though at some stage. Table 2, just going to bet, bet, bet for value. I suppose, yeah, you did have a small leak where you didn't bet big enough against a fish with the strong hands. Like here, if this player... Oh, did you check the turn? I don't like that check. Oh, yeah, no, I don't like that check at all, actually. Cool, you did something we can talk about. So yeah, on the flop, against a weaker player, I guess you don't have any stats in this guy, so you don't really know, but yeah, against a weaker player, a bit bigger. But no big deal. On the turn, I don't like the check. Yeah, the six, it's 4 to a straight now, but there's still hands like any 8 with the club, any 7 or 5 with the club, any like overpair with the club is still calling you on this turn. So I would just bet $3 here and then check on the river. And he's probably going to raise you if he has a 6 or a flush on the turn. So yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about that. But now once he checks back the turn that quickly, you got to bet the river like $3. You got to bet the river for value on table 2. No, I don't like that check. I think there's value to be had here. If you're checking now, you're in an awkward spot where I think if I checked there, I played the hand like that, I would have check called the river in that spot. Because I think he bets bigger with a 6. He can definitely be value betting a 10 there for that size. I mean, he's betting half pot. He can also just have some busted flush draws that he's having a cheap stab at. Yeah, I think he could be value betting worse in that spot and be bluffing. So I think it's definitely a call on the river. Getting, he's only betting half pot, so getting good price. But yeah, I would have just bet the turn and then either check called in the river, check decided in the river, or just bet the river really small for value, like 1/3 pot. Like bet the turn big and then just really small in the river to get calls by any pair plus draws that called you on the turn in that hand. Table 2. Here's a spot we just want to bet, like, when he bets into us, we want to raise for sure, like 6, at least to 6. I'd raise a bit more than that, considering we're deep. I'd raise like 6 or 650. Good turn for us. I'd bomb it like 12, 13 even, but 12's fine. Don't be afraid to bet big in spots like this. Like, he's not folding a queen, especially on that card. Like that 8's a really good bluff, a really bad bluff card. So just saying that makes it a really good value card for us. So just bet really big there and hope that he's not going to believe you with ace queen or whatever, or with whatever flush draw he has. He doesn't want to fold. Table 1, I just click it back. No reason to make it squeezes if you're going to 4-bet. No reason to make it any bigger than a click it back 100 big blinds deep, because not really many people can do anything to that. I wouldn't call though. I don't think that's a good play. You give only twos odds to set line, and this jig in the sky is playing so tight. He has ace king queens plus most of the time, so I don't think he's folding to your 4-bet. I think you're ahead of his 4-bet range. I don't think he's folding to your 4-bet, and I think you're ahead of his 3-betting range. So for those reasons, I would just get it in. I would just 4-bet and get it in versus him, because yeah, he's not folding and you're ahead of his range, so why not? Instead, now you're calling, giving only twos odds to set mine. You're still going to get stacked by aces if that's what you're worried about in terms of calling. Or if you're trapping, I'm not sure. But the only time this would ever be good is if you thought only twos was very likely to back shove. In that situation, then I would have done what you've done. Then I would have flatted, but yeah. Yeah, now as played, just keep slow playing your hand, call the turn and let him shove the river. Don't think there's much point in shoving over here. Let him bluff. Once you've slow played, you don't want to make the mistake of, your hand looks weak, so just keep calling and continue to let it look weak. If you shove here, you take away his opportunity to bluff on the river, which is bad, and you only get called by hands of better value. Okay, good. No, that's not a very good card considering I put his range as queens, ace, king. You can't really fold to that size bet though, really, with the hand you have. On the odd chance he's bluffing, on the odd chance he has ace queen, but really against queens, kings, aces, and ace king, you're boned on this river. I didn't actually realise the stack sizes on the turn. With these stack sizes, you can shove over his turn bet. I'm not used to these 25 vanilla stack sizing on the turn. If he's only gonna have a half pot size bet left in the river, he's unlikely to bluff for that amount. So in that case, you should just shove over. But now I think you're boned versus someone playing 12-8. That's a 4% 3-bet. So yeah, pretty tough fold to make, but he's not bluffing. Yeah, okay, good fold. But I think you should have just 4-bet pre-flop and got it in. And then I think actually you should have shoved over the turn, but even though I was saying at the time you shouldn't have, I didn't realise the stack sizes that would have been left on the river. Knowing the stack sizes that were left in the river, I think it's definitely much better to shove there. Shove over his turn bet, because he's committed with any draw, and he's not going to bluff the river for half pot. I wouldn't be making folds like that when you get to higher limits, though, when people are capable of bluffing. But seeing as that guy's playing 12-8 or whatever, doesn't have any bluffs 3-betting you under the gun open, really. He has aces, kings, queens, and ace king. When all those hands beat you, so that's why I think your fold's okay. Definitely don't think versus any competent player you should be folding there if you're slow playing your hand like that. Table 1. Yeah, open. Table 2, open as well. Isolate, yeah. Table 1, betting for value. If this guy's a fish, bet bigger. If you know he's a fish, that is. You can check back this turn, seeing as you have club redraw. Because he'll bluff the river sometimes with his out of position floats, or just his floats, and he'll also your hand just looks weaker, so you can value bet in the river a little thinner. Table 2, but also betting's fine on table 1, by the way, with the king 10. Table 2, if he checks, I would bet. I wouldn't check that back. He was calling, so yeah, I guess your check was better in this situation, but it doesn't mean it was better overall, obviously. When he checks there, I would just bet just like half pot. I think we get a decent enough price, and he's going to fold often enough. So I didn't actually see the action in their hand though. We can have another look at it. Oh wait, tournament check. Yeah, okay. You can't bet the river, but you should be betting that turn when he checks it, in my opinion, because you have nothing and he can check fold pretty easily. When people check two in the turn, if someone c bets the flop then checks the turn, you should generally just be betting half pot if you don't have anything, because if you don't have showdown value, you bet half pot because people check fold the turn way too much after c betting the flop. That's like a general rule. When people c bet the flop and check the turn, they're folding a very high percentage of the time for the most part. So just assume that until you have a read on someone. I like the 3-bet with 4s. I 3-bet all my like 2s through 5s. If someone's opening any kind of decent amount in the button, I think it's good to 3-bet. Yeah, I'd flat in position as well with the 7-8 suited. Table 2. I would call now. Yeah. Nice. I'd be raising here to get it in. I think people suck. Especially now. Well, if Alec called, I would then flat. But now, yeah, flat for flat. Even when this guy donks out, then you flat. Yeah, it's much better to flat now because he's potting it. If he pots the turn, then you've got all the money in. Yeah, snap call, obviously. Nice hand. Yeah, definitely 3-betting with the 2s. No, sorry, queens. C-bet half pot. Good. He snap calls. I would just bet. See, giving a stack size, I don't think we need to bet 4 here. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, bet 4 and then shove the river. It's fine. He's not folding an ace. And yeah, shove the river. That hand's pretty standard. The only thing I'd say is you can mix it up, betting a little bit smaller on the turn there, to give him a bit of room to shove with some bluffs. Think he has a bit more fold equity, stuff like that. But yeah, I still think betting 4 was fine there. Don't think it's a leak. Opens on table 1 and 2. And 4-bet. Oh, you can flat with the ace king, given this guy's tighter. I would just flat. He's probably not the type to re-jam it like ace queen if you 4-bet him. So in that case, I think it's better to just flat. 4-betting's fine as well, I guess, but I think flatting's a bit better to keep in his weaker hands like ace queen that he might be 3-betting and ace jack. The hands that you dominate where you 4-bet, he might just now restrict his range to queens plus ace king or jack plus ace king. So whatever he folded there, you probably would have better if you called and let that hand stay in, because you probably dominated it at a decent amount of the time. Anything that he decides to fold there. Table 1, didn't really see the action. We'll go back. So we open and get a call. And he checks the flop. Yeah, I would check back as well. Once he checks again though, then we bet for value. Or just call now. On the river, just bet half pot for value on table one. Like $1.50 or something is fine, or $1.25. Yeah, $1.50 it's fine. I like to value bet there. See, that's something a lot of 25 and on regs probably aren't capable of doing, but it's definitely a spot you should be value betting. It's like fat value in that spot. You're going to be beat sometimes, but most of the time, almost always you have the best hand. Here, table 2, I'd be betting. Obviously bluffing this card now, 750. Just want to see if he donked. Am I right in thinking E3 bet here? Yeah, E3 bet, good. And then on this flop it's bet shove. Sorry, once that turn comes off, you're betting the turn and shoving the river now. You should be as a bluff. 550 on the turn and a river pot size bet. Oh, I don't like your check at all. Awesome card for our range, horrible card for his range. Like we have ace king, aces, flush draws in our range and stuff like that. He's got like hands like queen king, queen jack, queen 10. He's got ace queen. Oh yeah, see, I much prefer if you had to bet that turn. Much prefer if you had to bet that. We have an open ender as well. Like this is a really scary card for him. You need a lot of folds here. And the thing is, all his queen king, queen jack, queen 10, pocket 10s, pocket jacks with a diamond are going to call this turn because they have a diamond. And they're going to fold on a brick river. So you should be betting this turn and then shoving a brick river because we have we have enough aces in our range that we can definitely rep an ace, and definitely enough strong hands that we can rep these hands. And I mean, if we bet 550, we get a cheap price even if he calls to realize our equity and spike a king, or an 8, and in that case we can shove the river for value. But yeah, I think definitely if you're looking for open up your 3-belling range, this is a really good spot to do it. 550 on the turn here, then shove the river. On bricks, not on diamonds, on bricks, because the whole point of the bluff is that you're getting hands like pair plus draw type hands to call on the turn, hands like a diamond with a pair, and then they'll have to fold the river. So hands like queen x, 9x, 7x, 8s, 10s, jacks, all with a diamond, any of those hands, which is very likely holdings of his. Like, I wouldn't be worried that just because he called you he's got ace queen. I know it's in his range, but I still don't think we should be check folding there. I think that card, we have enough immediate fold equity, and we make a lot of money when he calls, and we can shove the river. On table 1, we c-bet, obviously. Get a call, bet for value now. 250. You can even check back here, and then call the river, but yeah, I would just bet for value, like 250. Yeah, it's fine. Or you can make it actually a bit bigger on the turn so you can set up a river shove, but it's fine as played. You can make the river $6 and get called. Representing miss flush, you get called by king queen, sometimes a jack, sometimes a worst 10 that floated. Thinking about a little bit bigger, but I think it's okay. Yeah, that's unlucky. I haven't seen much light 3-betting, but then again, I haven't seen any very good spots to do it so far. But you should be looking to 3-bet at these limits a little wide on the button versus cutoff opens, and 3-betting a little wider for value out of the blinds. Like now, yeah, it's a good spot to 3-bet versus someone who's not buying in full stacked. He has reggy stats though. I still like the 3-bet with king queen suited on table 2 though. Be c-betting on table 2. I think you can fold in middle position and early position. I think you can fold everything up to 6s because I doubt you're making profit with them. Run a filter and see if you're winning with 2s through till 6s in middle position under the gun. I think you'll find you're not winning with them, and very few people I know can win with them. So yeah, I'd be looking at those hands and looking to fold them in those positions. I fold them unless there's like a big fish in the blinds or something, like a really big fish. I'm generally folding like 2s through 6s. So yeah, table 1, 2 is a very good spot just to bet as a bluff. I bet the turn as a bluff as well. I'd keep my bluff going just because he'll float you with ace highs on this board, so you at least want to bet twice. Yeah, I think it's a good bet. On the river, once he snap calls you twice, I think he's calling the river, so I just check fold. I think he folds his ace highs on the turn. I don't even really mind your river bet, to be honest, just because, I mean, it's not the worst. Generally, I give up there once he snap calls me twice because I think he's calling the river. But yeah, I mean, against a good player like someone. Oh wait, I assume this guy's a fish because he's got a purple ring and I use purple tag. Yeah, versus a reg, this is a pretty good play. Except I'd bet bigger. I'd plan to be setting up bet shove versus most regs on this type of board texture, just because we have so many hands in our range that can bet shove for value, whereas he has very few hands in his range. Like he doesn't have the jacks plus in his range, whereas we do. And it's likely a reg can float twice with ace queen here. I thought this guy was a fish originally, but yeah, I guess you got a much cheaper bluff than I would have had there. So nice hand, but I would have been just going half pot, or like setting up a river shove, maybe 60%, and shoving the river. But yeah, I mean your line actually you represent a wider value range, so you might get a bit more folds. So. But then again, like at lower limits, I just expect people to go, half pot, I've got pocket, I've got a pair I call, or whatever. So yeah. But I mean, if you're betting that size to fold that ace highs, and you assume he's calling you with ace highs on flop and turn, then I like the play. But I don't really play, I don't really have that in my game. I haven't really taken that line that you're taking there versus regs, because I like to get more value with my bigger hands, and I like to stay balanced. But yeah, I mean that looked pretty scary. If I was a reg and someone did that to me, I would think they're just going for value because it doesn't look like I'm folding. So if you think regs are on that level, then that's a nice line to take. But I think at these stakes, it's better just to think that people aren't thinking, and they're just kind of looking at their cards. And if you are gonna it's low like paired shitty unconnected boards are good to triple barrel bluff and 3-bet pots versus weaker kind of regs that aren't very stationary because their range is so capped. Like they don't have the jacks plus in their range. So when they call a flop and turn bet, then on the river they're faced with a pot size shove. They're gonna be puking with their middle pocket pairs which is the top of their range. Table 1 was standard. Table 2. We just call the turn as well. And on the river, I would bet for value. I think there's value in betting. We beat ace king. Yeah. I think in terms of sizing, it's probably okay. Yeah, I think it's fine. We're looking to get a call out of a one pair type hand. So. And that sucks. Table 1, yeah, I'd just call. I'd bet for value, just half pot on table 1. We get a call. On the river, I just bet $2 on table 1, $2 or $3. Hope to get a call out of 10s, 9s, 8s, and 7x, and maybe ace high. Yeah, I think if we bet $2 there, we would have got a little bit more value from those 10s on table 1. Just call with the queen 10. I'd check raise this flop though. You can check call as well, and then turn goes check check and you bet the river. Yeah, that's alright as well. But I mean, check raising these boards, you'll be surprised how many folds you get. Versus better players, it's not the best idea to check raise these boards because because sorry, what am I saying? Yeah, it's probably not a good idea to check raise these boards because you don't really rep much. Like you don't have jacks or kings in your range. So you've only really got sevens in terms of sets, and then jack king for value. So yeah, you look like a draw, like a hand like queen. You have more queen 10 and clubs and stuff like that, and total air on this flop. So yeah, against good players I wouldn't, but against weaker regs, you'd be surprised how often you can get away with check raising here. And also, if you check raise a hand like queen 10 here, you can rep the club when it comes in on the turn as a bluff. And then on the river, yeah, you obviously bet for value, which is correct. I'd call with 9-10 suited in position with being a little deeper. Folding's fine as well, but I'd just 3-bet this min open here on table 2. It probably means he's opening a wide range if he's min opening, and yeah, calling kind of, I mean, you can call as well, but yeah, good. I like the 3-bet. Just take it down now. Yeah, I'll just bet. I'd probably bet $2 though there. And now I just fold once he raises. I think he's always going to raise a 10. Not very many bluffs I think he's going to raise here. And we only have ace high. Yeah. Don't think we should get involved being deeper there with ace high because we don't really know how he's going to react on the turn, which makes it a really crappy kind of spot to be in. I think you can call on table 2 there with the king 9 offsuit, but it's no big deal. That's like 2 hands to go on table 2. Probably just fold the 8s being out of position. Actually, he's like playing pretty wild, so you can call here. I just saw his stats. So far, it looks like he's just. Excuse me. So far, it looks like he's just a bit of a maniac. So yeah, I'd just call, being expecting to be ahead of his range a decent amount of the time, and yeah, I'd just proceed after calling. You can also fold, I guess, but yeah, I'd probably call because I think when we hit our set, we get paid enough, and also I think we can play our hand strength on some like low dry boards and stuff like that. I think we can be pretty confident calling 3 streets, and even like just yeah, I think we can defend sometimes check calling, And I also think that yeah, we can set mine against a player playing that looks like he's just a bit of a maniac, but the fold's fine as well. It's not the end of the world. Sorry if I sound tired. It's like 6:45 in the morning. I haven't slept, but I've been meaning to get around to doing this video for a long time now. So gone for about 40 minutes. So we've got about 5 minutes left, and then we'll wrap it up. So yeah, next one I'll be doing a bit more. Like I'll be doing probably like a coaching package or something I'll be offering. So make sure you guys go to my fan page, facebook.com/Dintyo, and my Twitter, which is just at Dintyo, and yeah, I'll release some cool stuff, as well as any other videos that I make. I'll be posting on there any other videos that people are interested in seeing. Or any other videos, sorry, that I make for people that win the contests. I'll be posting them up on the Twitter and Facebook, so you guys can follow. If you guys are following, you'll get them, which they'll just be free to watch. Table 2 I'd be opening, table 1 I'd be 3-betting. And I'd just make it $3. I don't think it's really need to make it any bigger when the guy's half stacked. But he calls, and I'd be playing for stacks here, just betting 350 and calling a shove. Yeah, and I just get it in now. The min raise actually kind of sucks, but I still get it in because he can do this with ace 10 and king 10. I think the fold's a little nitty because, yeah, he can be doing that with some 10s. And also king jack. Stuff like that. So, yeah. I mean, once we've committed that much in the pot, and he only has such a small stack size, if he had a bigger stack, then yeah, maybe we can fold. But given how much little he had there on table 1, I guess I would just played that. I think it's a close, kind of close spot though. I don't hate you for folding, but I think it's probably plus EV to just get it in there, given the stack sizes and how much was in the pot. I like the bluff on table 1. This is what I was talking about a little bit earlier. At these limits, I think people fold in the cutoff a little bit too much versus button 3-bets. Table 2, pretty standard call with 8s there. Depending on how aggressive the player is, yeah, call's fine, especially when you spike a set on the turn. But I don't mind raising this flop with 8s here. To get called by flush draws, give us initiative, and to just get folds from like over pairs, which some people fold. I don't know if they're folding out at these limits, but certainly like 100 200 people will fold over pairs to a raise in this flop, because we can rep 3s, 6s, 9s, and combo draws, which over pairs aren't doing too well against. Now I'm just calling the turn, yeah, and on the river I'm just calling as well now that this card rolls off. I like that you didn't raise the turn. I think it's too obvious when you raise the turn that you have a strong hand. I would rather wait till the river and then raise to rep like a missed flush draw. I think it works better. And yeah, just call the river here on table 2. Definitely wouldn't raise, and I wouldn't worry about folding. I definitely wouldn't fold. Yeah. Okay, so that's about 45 minutes. I think Trevor played really well. There's definitely a few leaks that he can fix. I think betting a little bit bigger for value. Maybe through being a little bit more in position and not being so nitty in terms of this. I think you're just playing a little bit too tight. I think you can call down a little bit more in certain spots. That would be my advice. I mean, at these stakes though, people don't bluff as much, so it's not the biggest leak in the world. But as you move up, you are going to have to start making some wider calls in certain spots. Like with that king's hand, I think that was not you know, don't think it was. I don't think you should have folded there. And then also there was a triple barrel spot, which I think was really good. You should look out for those. In terms of triple barrel spots, those are spots where on the turn brings a lot of pair plus draws, like weak pair plus draws that your opponent's going to have to call on the turn, and then on brick rivers have to fold. Look out for spots like that in terms of triple barreling. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. This has been Dintyo, and you can check out more of my videos on cardrunners.com. So thanks, guys.